So Kevin Owens just addressed his injury status here on SmackDown, and God, I hope this isn't legit. So yes, as we all know, it was reported earlier today that Kevin Owens is dealing with some sort of undisclosed injury just 2 weeks before WrestleMania, where he's set to face Randy Orton. And Kevin Owens came out, he talked about his 25 years or so in the wrestling business. He said he's been dealing with a neck injury for 4 months or so. And he said he's going to have neck surgery, meaning he's going to be out for a long time. As Kevin Owens was leaving and going up the ramp, this led to Randy Orton coming out. They crossed paths as Randy Orton headed to the ring. It looked like Randy Orton was contemplating going after Kevin Owens, hitting him with a punt kick, but he decided not to. So Randy Orton was in the ring with Nick Aldis. Orton was frustrated. Aldis was talking about how Orton doesn't have a WrestleMania match anymore. Randy's obviously upset. He ends up hitting Nick Aldis with an RKO. And this just absolutely sucks. It feels like they had to actually pivot from the Randy Orton-Kevin Owens feud. Because it seems like if Kevin Owens' injury wasn't too serious, he could have taken a punt kick from Randy Orton to write him off of TV for a little while. But this feels like an official pivot from the Randy Orton-Kevin Owens match at WrestleMania. And this just absolutely sucks. Kevin Owens has been doing some of the best work of his career since turning heel. And they've been building this feud for months with Randy Orton. Randy Orton just returned a month ago. Things were heating up for WrestleMania. This was one of my most anticipated matches for WrestleMania. Now it seems like it's not going to happen, and it seems like we're not going to see Kevin Owens for a long time. And with that being said, what does this mean for Randy Orton? Because you know you're going to have Randy Orton at WrestleMania in some way, shape, or form. He laid out Nick Aldis with an RKO. Could this mean we're going to get a Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis match at WrestleMania? I mean, you gotta get Randy Orton on the card somewhere. There's not a whole lot of other spots for him to fill in. And ever since Nick Aldis signed with WWE as the SmackDown General Manager, I have just been patiently waiting to get a Nick Aldis actual match. As somebody who watched TNA in the early to mid 2010s, I want to see Magnus. I want to see Nick Aldis wrestle in WWE. And as we know, this wasn't the first time that Randy Orton hit Nick Aldis with an RKO. A little over a year ago, he got him with an RKO. And when that happened, Nick Aldis fined him $50,000, but Orton gave him $100,000 to pay off for next time. And it took over a year, but Randy Orton finally got his money's worth and got Nick Aldis with that next RKO. So again, this just absolutely sucks. I was so looking forward to Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. And unless they're working us out, it looks like we're not going to get Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. It looks like Kevin Owens might have to go away for neck surgery. I am praying and crossing my fingers that Kevin Owens doesn't actually need neck surgery. But prayers up to you, KO. Hopefully Kevin Owens is back sooner rather than later. And could we actually be getting Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis at WrestleMania?